Although every word of this story is as true as despair, I do not expect people to believe it. Nowadays, a rational explanation is required before belief is possible. Let me at once then offer the rational explanation. It is held that Harry and Laura Innes were under a delusion on that 31st of October, and that this supposition places the whole matter on a satisfactory and believable basis. But there were 3 who took part in the events of the 31st. The other man still lives, and can speak to the truth of the least credible part of Harry's story. October the 31st. It began like any other last day of the month, and progressed into terror as it moved beyond midnight.
I never in my life knew what it was like to have enough money to satisfy the most ordinary needs. I used to paint in those days, and Laura used to write, and we felt sure we could keep the pot at least simmering. Living in town was out of the question, so we went to look for a cottage in the country. We wanted something that was both sanitary and picturesque. So rarely do these 2 qualities meet in one cottage that for a long time our search was fruitless. We were lucky in the end, though. 2 days before our honeymoon started, we discovered the ideal thing on the outskirts of the village of Brenzett, near the marshes. We got a tall, old village woman called Mrs. Dorman to do for us, and as the cottage slowly became habitable, we began to devote more of our time to earning a living. Laura began to sell her stories, and I really felt the atmosphere was helping my painting. We had 3 months of married happiness. One October evening, I'd been down to smoke a pipe with the village doctor. Laura had stayed at home to finish a comic sketch for a woman's magazine. I'd left her laughing over her own jokes. I came back to find her crying on the window seat in the light of the dying day. Laura, what's the matter? Darling, what is it? Oh, please, darling.
It's Mrs. Dorman.
What? What's she done?
She says she's got to go before the end of the month. She says her niece is ill. She's gone down to see her now, but I don't believe that's the reason. Her niece is always ill. I think someone's been saying something against us. She was acting so queerly.
Oh, come on, darling. Never mind. It's all right. Don't cry.
Don't you see it's serious? We'll have to work all day. We'll only be able to rest while we're waiting for the kettle to boil. We won't have time to earn any money.
Listen. There'll be plenty of time, even if we do have to... Laura, listen to me. I'll speak to Mrs. Dorman when she comes back and see if I can't make her change her mind. She probably wants more money or something. It'll be all right, you see. Oh, come on, love. It's a beautiful evening, not dark yet. Let's take a walk up to the church, Come on, darling, fetch your coat.
I don't need a coat. It's not cold out. Harry, I will learn to cook soon. But...
Oh, don't worry. We walked under the yew trees up to the little old church. The path was called the Beer Walk, because years before it had been the way by which the corpses had been carried to burial. I didn't tell Laura this, though. She was impressionable. The church was Norman and was only used on Sundays. On either side of the altar lay a grey marble figure of a knight in full plate armour, lying upon a low slab, with hands held up in everlasting prayer. Their names were lost, but the villagers said they'd been murderers, marauders by land and sea. They'd been guilty of deeds so foul that the house they had lived in, the big house, by the way, that had stood on the site of our cottage, had been stricken by lightning and the vengeance of heaven. I didn't tell Laura this either. She wasn't so engrossed in folklore as I was. We walked to the chancel, looked for a while at the sleeping warriors, and then slowly made our way home. Mrs. Dorman had come back from the village, and so as soon as Laura had gone to our bedroom, I went into the kitchen to square things up with our servant. Well, can't you stay for another month?
No, sir. I'm bound to go by Thursday.
Yeah, but it's Monday today. I think you might have let us know before. There's no time now to get anybody else. My wife's not up to too much heavy work. Can't you stay till next week?
I might be able to come back next week.
Good, but why do you have to go this week? Come on, up with it.
It's cold, sir. They say, sir, that this was a big house in Catholic times, and there was many deeds done here.
Well, tell me about it, Mrs. Dorman. Well, you needn't mind about telling me. I won't make fun or anything. Would you like to sit down?
No, sir, thank you.
Well?
Well, sir, you may have seen in the church, beside the altar, 2 shapes.
The knights in armour. Effigies.
I mean them 2 bodies, drawed out, man-size in marble.
Man-size in marble. I thought then that her description was 1,000 times more graphic than mine.
They do say, as on All Saints' Eve, them 2 bodies sit up on their slabs and gets off them, and then walks down the aisle in their marble. And as the church clock strikes 11, they walks out of the church door and over the graves and along the bier walk. And if it's a wet night, there's the marks of their feet in the morning.
And where do they go?
They come back here to their home, sir. And if anyone meets them...
Well, what then?
I'm sorry, I've got to go, sir. But my niece, she's sick. I've got to go.
It's all right, Mrs. Dorman. If you promise to come back afterwards again, we don't want to lose you. What... the knights, the legend, after they've arrived here, what are they supposed to do then?
Whatever you do, sir, lock the door early on All Saints' Eve. And make the cross sign over the doorstep and on the windows.
But has anyone ever seen these things?
That's not for me to say. I know what I know, sir.
Well, who was here last year at the cottage?
No one, sir. The lady has owned the house, only stayed here in summer, and she always went to London a full month afore the night. All Saints. I'm sorry to inconvenience you and your lady, but my niece is ill and I must go on Thursday.
I didn't tell Laura of the shapes that walked in their marble, partly because a legend concerning our house might trouble her, and partly, I think, from some more occult reason. I soon forgot about it myself anyway. I was painting a portrait of Laura against the lattice window, and I couldn't think of much else.
There. Steak, potatoes. Oh, tell me I'm learning fast. Say it's as good as Mrs. Dorman, even if it isn't.
It looks beautiful.
The painting's coming along marvellously, darling. There's only one thing.
Oh, this is better than Mrs. Dorman. What's that?
I don't believe you. Harry, it's a lovely painting, but You've made me really beautiful.
Well, you are beautiful.
I love you.
Well, if you love me, get your elbow out of my dinner. Thursday passed off pretty well. Actually, the steak was like boots, and the potatoes were hardly cooked at all. But I loved her. I loved my darling. Friday came, and it's about what happened that Friday that I'm telling you now. I'll tell my story of it as quickly as I can. Everything that happened that day is burnt into my brain. I shall not forget anything, not leave anything out. You look sad, my darling.
Yes, I think I am. Or uneasy. I don't think I'm very well. It's not cold, is it?
What's the matter? No, not cold.
I've shivered lots of times this morning. Do you ever have presentiments of evil?
No. I shouldn't believe in them if I had.
I do. The night my father died, I knew it. He was right away in the north of Scotland. But I knew. Harry! We haven't played the gramophone since we've been here. Oh, let's play it now. What shall we have?
She sorted through our record collection, and she looked like a small child. I loved her then, that morning, more dearly than I've ever loved anyone in the whole of my life. It was the happiest time I've ever known, or hoped to know. The birds sang in the garden of our own home. The autumn was proving to be a mild one, and my Laura seemed gayer than ever she had been, despite her admittance to me that she thought she was not well. The music was beautiful. Laura was chatting away, and as I looked out through the windows at the mass of autumn colouring, the deep scarlet clouds slowly paled into leaden grey against a pale green sky. It was Friday, and Mrs. Dorman had gone off to look after a niece she swore was sick the day before, Thursday. I listened to the music and watched the graceful curve of my Laura's cheek. And it saddens me now, in retrospect, to remember that that day was the last time our now dusty gramophone records ever saw the light of day.
There must be millions of them in those marshes. The frogs. Harry, shall we get a little dog?
If you like.
Maybe not such a little one either. Let's have a Great Dane.
Great Dane?
So that everyone will be frightened and keep away.
Well, who do you want to keep away, for pity's sake?
People who shouldn't be here.
Oh,
I don't know. Burglars and things.
Well, I think any self-respecting burglar looking around this place would go away in disgust. Well, we might have something worth stealing one day, but not at the moment, my lovely. Anyway, Great Danes are awful cowards.
Oh, they're not. They're huge.
Sure they are. All feet and great lolloping head. All bluff, though. Pekingese would be more likely to create a din and scare away unwanted visitors.
Anyway, shall we get a dog? Not a Dane, then. A little mongrel or something. With one eye black and one eye brown. Call it Wag or Patch.
A dog called Wag or Patch shall be delivered here by the end of the week.
Oh,
I promise.
Wonderful. I'd love a canary, too.
Well, then a canary you'll have, my darling. I'll give you anything in the world within my power. You know that.
I used to have a tortoise when I was a girl.
Are you trying to turn the place into a zoo? Oh, is my pipe bothering you?
No, of course not. What's the time?
10:30. All the same, I think I'll take the last of it outside for a bit.
Last of what?
My pipe. Brutal to sit in here, filling the place with strong Cavendish.
Oh, I don't mind. I'll come with you.
No, sweetheart, not tonight. You're much too tired. Shan't be long. You were shivering this morning.
I'm all right now, honestly.
Get to bed. I'll have an invalid to nurse tomorrow, as well as the boots to clean.
Kiss me then.
Come on, pussy. You're tired. Housework's been too much for you.
Harry. Oh, Harry.
Oh, Laura, my sweet love. I'll not be long out there. Just...
Taste of strong Cavendish. Oh, I'm a bit tired.
Yes, I know.
We've been very happy today, haven't we, darling? Don't stay out too long.
I won't. What a night it was. The jagged masses of heavy dark cloud were rolling at intervals from horizon to horizon, and thin white wreaths covered the stars. Through all the rush of the cloud river, the moon swam, breasting the waves and disappearing again in darkness. I could see the church tower standing out black and grey against the sky. 11 o'clock already. My pipe was out. I looked in at the bedroom window and saw Laura half lying on her chair in front of her dressing table. My heart went out to her. I decided to take a walk up to the church. So, with a last look at my dearest wife, I left our cottage and began my walk. There must be a God, I thought to myself, and a God who was good. How otherwise could anything as sweet as Laura ever have been imagined? When I reached the church, I noticed the door was open. I blamed myself for leaving it unlatched the other night. We were the only people who ever cared to come to the church, except on Sundays. I went inside. It seems strange, perhaps, that I should have gone halfway up the aisle before I remembered, with a sudden chill, followed by as sudden a rush of self-contempt, that this was the very day and hour when, according to tradition, the shapes drawed out man-size in marble began to walk. Having remembered the legend, I decided to go and have a look at the marble knights. I thought how pleasant it would be to tell Mrs. Dorman how ridiculous her fancies were, and how peacefully the marble figures slept on through the ghastly hour. With my hands in my pockets, I passed up the aisle. In the grey, dim light, the eastern end of the church looked larger than usual, and the arches above the two tombs looked larger too. And then the moon came out and showed me the reason. I stopped short, and my heart gave a leap that nearly choked me. The bodies were gone! Marble slabs lay wide and bare in the moonlight that slanted through the east window. Was I mad? I passed my hand over the smooth slabs. Some joke. The figures were gone, and I was alone in the church. Or was I? And then a horror seized me, a horror indefinable and indescribable, an overwhelming certainty of supreme and accomplished calamity. Laura! Laura! Laura!
of here. Hurry.
Let go. Let go. The marble figures have gone from the church. They've gone.
Oh, I'll have to give you a draft tomorrow, I see. You've been listening to old wives' tales.
I've seen the bare slabs, man. Let go.
Now, hurry, man. Listen to me, will you? Now, listen.
Well, you gave me a scare, Doctor.
I'm going to old Palmer's place. His daughter's sick. I'll go by way of the church. Show me the bare slabs.
Well, you go if you like. I'm going home to my wife. Look, will you let go my arm?
Oh, rubbish, man. Do you think I'll permit that? I hate to go saying all your life that you've seen marble endowed with vitality, and me to go all me life saying you're a coward? No, sir, you shan't do it. Now, come on. Come on now. I'll prove to you were dreaming.
We went back to that terrible church and walked up the aisle, walked to the marble slabs. The doctor produced matches. I admit I closed my eyes. I knew the figures would not be there.
Here they are. You see, right enough. You've been dreaming or drinking. Asking your pardon for the imputation, eh?
I opened my eyes and looked, and by the dying matchlight I saw the two shapes in marble, hands in prayer.
Blast! I burnt my fingers. Oh, blasphemy in a church. Still, it wasn't meant. So, satisfied, Harry?
Oh, it must have been some trick of the light or something. Do you know, I was quite convinced they were gone.
I'm aware of that. You'll have to be careful of that brain of yours, my friend. Now, I'm warning you.
Huh?
Hello? Something has been afoot here. His hand is broken.
What?
Well, you might hand and see it's broken. Maybe somebody tried to remove them.
They were both all right last time Laura and I came here.
Well, someone might have tried to prise them up.
That wouldn't account for my impression.
Too much painting and tobacco, and maybe indulgence in some of the hard stuff too, perhaps.
Never. Oh, look, come on, man. My wife will be getting anxious. Oh, you come in and have a drop of whiskey with me and drink Confusion to Ghosts and better sense to me, won't you?
I ought to go to Palmer's, but... well, it's late. I'll leave it till tomorrow. She's not all that sick.
Oh, let's go back then.
Aye. You're getting along fine in the cottages then, Harry.
Oh, we're making do. Had a bit of a servant problem.
Who doesn't have servant troubles? You're not alone there, Harry. Ever since the day I came to the place, servants have driven me mad.
We walked to our cottage. We saw, as we walked up the path, the bright light streaming out of the front door. Presently I noticed the parlour door was open too. Had she gone out, I wondered? We passed into the parlour. It was all ablaze with candles. Her chair was empty, and her handkerchief and book lay on the floor. I turned to the window, and there, in the recess of the window, I saw her.
Laura!
Good grief, man.
Laura, my baby, Laura. It's all right, my darling. I'm here.
There, out of the way.
Laura, it's all right, pussy. Please, baby, I'm here. Oh, forgive me.
She fell into my arms in a heap. I kissed her and held her. But I think I knew all the time that she was dead.
Please, what happened?
Her hands were tightly clenched.
I'm sorry.
In one of them, she held something fast. When I was quite sure that she was dead and that nothing mattered at all anymore, I let the doctor open her hand to see what it was she held. It was a grey marble finger.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder. The program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe.
The Reverend Arthur Maydew worked very hard in a large parish for 11 months of the year. He was also a student and a man of no strong physique, so that when an opportunity was presented to him to take a holiday by exchanging his parsonage in a sprawling, dark, industrial town with the country living of another clergyman in the sunlit south, he was very glad to avail himself of it. Arthur Maydew had 2 daughters, the heroines of this story set in an English county shortly after the First World War. Both these girls rejoiced at the prospect of a period of quiet and rest in the pleasant country neighborhood of Overbury. But their dreams were shattered. From the gentle green acres, the Maydew sisters passed into the dark regions of terror that lie beyond midnight.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder presents Beyond Midnight.
Quite lovely. Oh, Maggie, we shall persuade old Mr. Roberts to exchange Overbury for Father's parish permanently.
Oh, as if he would. This lovely place, these surroundings for Sheffield. Oh, Alice, who in all the world would make such a bargain?
Look, that was a song thrush. Did you see him?
No. With eyes like yours, I'm surprised you did.
Well, I will not wear spectacles. And if it contents me to say I saw a song thrush, then a song thrush I saw.
Oh.
Do you think Father is contented here, Maggie?
Of course. He has Mr. Roberts' library. What could content him more? Books, books, and more books. 100,000 books.
Oh, how green it is up here. That's Bricket Bottom down there. The Glen. How long do you think it is?
1 mile. Oh, 3/4, perhaps. You must ask Smith. He knows all the county's history.
Oh, I would not dream of asking Smith anything. He's quite stupid. Look, you see, that's the road which leads to Blazes Farm.
Oh.
Oh, I wish there were a few friendly neighbours, that's all. Then it would be paradise here. That's the only trouble. Once we've fully explored, what shall we do then? On this side of Bricket Bottom, there's nothing but Carew Court. And that's miles and miles and miles away.
I wonder what he's like.
Who?
The owner, Lord Carew, of course. They say he's one of the wealthiest men in England.
I've heard tell that he doesn't have a handsome 25-year-old son, Maggie. Only a rather plain daughter.
I was thinking nothing of the sort. I merely wondered what he was like. It is bleak, though, isn't it? All about here. Beautiful, yes, but bleak. Oh, come on. It's getting dark. We must...
Tomorrow we'll explore right to Blazes Farm. Who knows? We may be treated to fresh, warm, creamy milk.
Alice, look. Look. How very curious. There's a house down there in the bottom, which we have never... Oh, leastways, I have never noticed before.
House? Where?
Do you see? We've walked along the path down there, but I... Oh, no. There, girl, there. You see?
I don't see any house.
Oh, you must be able to see it. A quaint-looking old-fashioned house. Red brick. Oh, just where the road bends to the right. See the garden?
No. I certainly can't see a house.
Oh, Alice, I'm very sorry, but if you don't persuade Father to buy spectacles for you soon, you'll be incapable of seeing anything.
Yes, perhaps I can see a house, but the light is getting so bad. Oh, Maggie, we really must fly.
All right, but tomorrow we shall come and explore it. Perhaps we shall meet some charming people, make new friends.
Wait for me.
Perhaps we may persuade Father to desert his books and come with us too. We must meet the people in the house though, otherwise Father will be too shy.
We can't go tomorrow, Maggie.
Name, Alice.
Oh, my ankle. Oh, Maggie, help me.
Well, why did you come down the stairs like an elephant? It's your own fault.
Oh, you told me to hurry.
Here, don't stand. Sit down, rest it. Well, I wanted to go to the house. Father's forgotten all about visiting Overbury. We can go this morning.
Oh, it's swelling. Oh, look. Oh, Maggie, it's so painful. I shan't leave the house this morning, that's evident. If you wish to explore, you must go alone.
Yes, Maggie.
Yes, Father. If we don't go now, we'll never get away. He's sure to want to go to Overbury.
It's no good. I cannot stand. Oh, go alone and tell me about it when you come back. If there is a house in Bricket Bottom. I swear I saw nothing.
I shall see you soon. If they are pleasant people and we are invited to tea and your ankle still pains you tomorrow, we shall take the trap over.
Maggie, you are so forward.
Maggie, are you there?
Now, don't try to walk. Preserve your ankle at all costs. I shall not be late. Tell Father I am just walking. He will be cross if he thinks I have gone to the house without him. Very old-fashioned, but oh, absolutely charming. Oh, and Alice, you should just see the garden. Oh, there are hollyhocks and roses and Canterbury bells and foxgloves. It is absolutely lovely. A darling little house. It's set close to the woods, just where the lane turns off to Blazer's farm. Oh, and Alice, I saw the people too. An old lady and gentleman. The gentleman was sitting on the porch. I couldn't see him clearly, but the lady was in the garden tying up her flowers or weeding or something or the other. Oh, she looked up and smiled as I went by. Oh, Alice, I'm sure they are nice people. It would be awfully pleasant to make their acquaintance. And we shall too. I shall make their acquaintance if it is the last thing I do.
Hello.
Hello, you're walking. The ankle is fully healed.
I hobble. What's the matter?
Matter?
Yes, you don't look yourself this morning. Father was not angry yesterday, was he? I'm sure he was not awfully keen on going into Overbury.
No, not angry. No, I'm all right. Only I did not sleep very well. I kept on dreaming about the house. It was such an odd dream, too. The house seemed to be home and yet to be different.
What? That house in Bricket Bottom? What on earth is the matter with you? You seem perfectly obsessed with the place.
Well, it is curious, isn't it? I mean that we should only just have discovered it, and it looks to be lived in by nice people. I do wish we could get to know them. There's going to be a storm.
Oh, the swelling just will not go down.
Alice, I went to the house.
House? Oh, the house in Bricket Bottom. Well?
I saw the old lady, and she is absolutely a darling. I believe she simply lives in that garden. Mind you, it's absolutely enchanting. Oh, anyway, she came to her gate and talked with me, and she asked me in to look at her flowers. She's terribly keen on flowers. Anyway, the thing is, I was a little shy, I suppose, and she said, "You needn't be afraid of me, my dear. I like to see young ladies about me, and my husband finds their society quite necessary to him." Oh, she's awfully attractive, lovely silver hair. Anyway, she told me about herself and the Colonel. Oh, that's her husband. He used to be in India, in the army. Paxton's their name. Colonel and Mrs. Paxton. She said they were awfully lonely at times, and she asked me to meet the Colonel.
I hope you didn't go in.
Why not?
Well, I don't like her asking you in that way.
Well, I didn't actually go in because it was getting late, but...
But what?
I have accepted Mrs. Paxton's invitation to pay her a little visit tomorrow.
Well, I do think you ought to find out a little more about them before you go calling, Maggie.
Why? Oh, what on earth is the matter? They're lovely people.
How do you know?
Well, I'll tell you when I come home. Oh, you would have to go and hurt your ankle. Look, I'll go this afternoon just for a short visit. I'll be back for tea, and then we can have some croquet. You know how happy Father is when he plays croquet. Oh, Alice, don't look so disapproving. Maybe the Colonel and his lady have a handsome son. After all, you're getting awfully old, Alice. 20.
Where is Maggie?
Father?
Where is Maggie?
Out for a walk. And she's gone to pay a call on some neighbours whom she has recently discovered.
Neighbours? What neighbours? Mr. Roberts never spoke of any neighbours to me.
Well, I don't know much about them. Maggie and I were out walking the other day, the day before I hurt my ankle, and we saw, at least she saw, a house in Bricket Bottom. Honestly, Father, I am so blind I
What
can't...
house?
It belongs to Colonel and Mrs. Paxton, in Bricket Bottom, a little red brick house. Maggie has made the acquaintance of the Paxtons. It's perfectly all right. He's a retired Indian Army officer. Maggie went along this afternoon, but she said she'd be back long before this.
I am not too well pleased about this, Alice. Maggie should not be so impulsive and scrape acquaintance with unknown people. She said she'd be home early.
Well, yes.
Had there been nice neighbours at Bricket Bottom, I'm sure Mr. Roberts would have told us. It's getting late. It can have delayed her. You say she saw the house, you didn't.
It was getting dark. And you know how short-sighted I am.
But surely you must have seen it at some other time.
That is the strangest part of the whole affair, Father. We have often walked along there, but neither of us have ever seen the house till that evening. And as I said, it was getting dark. Father, perhaps we should ask Smith to harness the pony and bring Maggie back. I am not happy about her. I'm rather afraid, I must confess. I don't know why.
Afraid of what? What can have gone wrong in a quiet place like this? Still, I'll send Smith over for her. Yes. Smith! If you feel you can manage with that ankle of yours, perhaps you'll come too. Poor dear departed mother always swore she would have preferred sons. Less trouble. Oh, not that she wasn't terribly fond of her two daughters, of course, bless her soul, but... Smith, I want you to harness a pony at once and go over to Colonel Paxton's house in Bricket Bottom and bring Miss Maydew home. Well, what are you waiting for, man?
Go where, sir?
To Colonel Paxton's house. Bring Miss Maggie home.
I never heard of Colonel Paxton, sir. I don't know what else you mean.
Alice, tell this fellow where your sister has gone to, and let us be off to fetch her. The Paxtons House, man, in Bricket Bottom. Colonel Paxton.
Smith, you must know the house. You really must. Why, we saw it only the other day. At least, Maggie saw it.
Not too heavily on that ankle now, girl. Harness the pony at once.
Yes, sir.
Stupid man. Alice, is your ankle strong enough?
Yes, Father.
Then you must show Smith where this house is. I must own I'm worried, Alice.
But why, Father? Maggie merely went to pay a visit to the Colonel and his wife.
And why have I not heard of the Colonel? Roberts would have informed me if there had been pleasant neighbours hereabouts. Be that as it may. Come, let me help you. I shall find it difficult not to be stern with your sister when we meet her again. The place depresses me, Alice, that I must own. It depresses me. The country all around is beautiful, but I am not fond of this part. Well, where is the house?
At the bend of the road. It should be there.
Coming dark. Yet you remember no house, Smith. How long have you worked hereabouts?
Nigh on 25 years, sir.
I shall be fierce with her, I promise you.
Here we are. Smith, it's here. Just...
This is the place?
Yes, Father.
But there's no house here.
Sir?
Huh?
Look, sir.
What?
Some part of a building. Here, and here, in the grass.
There was a dwelling here at one time. A long time ago. There were terraces here, running... what does it all mean, Alice? Are you sure of yourself, girl? You're not mistaken? Perhaps further...
No, Father. I promise. It stood here, the house. Maggie pointed it out to me from up above.
And she went to visit the Paxtons. Well, then where is Maggie? Listen. Smith,
Maggie, where are you?
That was Maggie's voice.
Father!
She's near and in some trouble. Where did it come from, Smith?
I didn't hear anybody calling, sir.
Alice, go back to the trap. Let me help you. Smith, we must search.
Miss Maggie? Miss Maggie? Where are you?
Maggie, we heard you. Call again. Where are you? Alice, drive on to Blazes Farm, bring help, ask Mr. Rumbold to come and his sons too if they're at home, and ask them to fetch lanterns.
Father, she might have returned over the downs while we were going by road. Perhaps she saw us and called out...
Drive to Blazes Farm, girl. Maggie! 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 Maggie, where are you?
May I offer you more tea, Mr. Roberts?
No, thank you, my child. No, thank you.
Nothing. 4 days. Nothing. What can have happened to her, Roberts? The police have questioned the old woman. She saw her on the path to Bricket Bottom, but no one else has seen her since.
The old woman said... What was it, Father?
She described Maggie as smiling, but looking queer-like. The house. There is no house. And yet...
Have you ever heard any local gossip concerning this Colonel and Mrs. Paxton?
No. I never heard mention of their names until...
I think the pot needs more hot water, Father.
Well, I'll tell you all I can about them, which is not very much, I fear. I am now nearly 75 years old, and for nearly 70 years no house has stood in Bricket Bottom. But when I was a very young child, there was an old-fashioned red brick house standing in a garden at the bend of the road, such as you have described. It was owned and lived in by a retired Indian soldier and his wife, a Colonel and Mrs. Paxton. At the time I speak of, certain events having taken place at the house, and the old couple having died, it was sold by their heirs to Lord Carew, who shortly after pulled it down on the ground that it interfered with his shooting. The Paxtons were well known to my father, who was the clergyman here before me, and to the neighbourhood in general. They lived quietly and were not unpopular, but the Colonel was supposed to possess a violent and vindictive temper. Their family consisted only of themselves and their daughter, the Colonel's old army servant and his Eurasian wife. Well, I cannot tell you the details of what happened. I was only a child. My father never liked gossip, and in later years, when he talked to me on the subject, he always avoided any appearance of exaggeration or sensationalism. However, it is known that Miss Paxton fell in love and became engaged to a young man to whom her parents took a strong dislike. They used every possible means to break off the match, and many rumors were set on foot as to their conduct. Undue influence, even cruelty, were charged against them. I do not know the truth. All I can say is that Miss Paxton died, and a very bitter feeling against her parents sprang up.
Yes, but Roberts, I pray you, what...
Please let me continue. I know how shocked you are. This story, well, it may shed some light. My father never saw Paxton after his daughter's death, and only saw Mrs. Paxton once or twice. He described her as an utterly broken woman, and no one seemed at all surprised when she followed her daughter to the grave within 3 months. Paxton himself became a recluse. He was rarely if ever seen, and himself died in a very short time. Some said by his own hand. He was buried like his wife and daughter in the churchyard of my church. The property passed to a distant relative, who came down to it for one night soon afterwards. He never came again. It said he conceived a violent dislike to the place. He sold it to Lord Carew, who later pulled it down, and the garden was left to relapse into a wilderness. Those are the facts.
But there is something more. I can see it in your face.
You have a right to know. What I'm going to tell you now is rumor, vague and uncertain. About 5 years after the house had been pulled down, a young maid servant at Carew Court was out walking one afternoon. She was a newcomer to the district. On returning home to tea, she told her fellow servants that as she walked down Bricket Bottom, which place she described clearly, she passed a red brick house at the bend of the road, and that a kind-faced old lady had asked her to step in for a while.
I saw the old lady, and she is absolutely a darling. She came to her gate and talked with me and asked me in to look at her flowers. She's awfully attractive. Lovely silver hair.
Did this girl go in?
No. She feared that she might be late back at the hall for tea. She never visited the bottom again. But 2 or 3 years after that, after my father's death, a travelling tinker and his wife and daughter camped for a night at the foot of the bottom. The girls strolled away up the glen to gather blackberries, and she was never seen nor heard of again. Of course, One does not know the truth. And she may have run away voluntarily from her parents, although there was no known cause for her doing that. That is all I can tell you of either facts or rumors. All that I can do now is to pray for you and for her.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder. The program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe.
A room floated round her. Sharp instruments hovered, and there were voices and people in sterile white masks.
David, I'm being... Why don't you come, David? I'm dying. Why don't you come?
Beyond Midnight.
Sleep, don't disturb her.
I'm awake.
Alice, darling. He's a fine baby. Fine baby. He's got a red face and blue eyes.
All I'll say is, she feels alien to the child. Now, this may simply be something we can clear up, easily with just one or two questions. Is this a wanted child, Dave?
Why do you ask?
It's vital.
Yes, it's wanted. We planned it together.
Must be something else, then. Something buried deep in her childhood that's come out now. Or maybe simply a result of the pain she's been through. If that's the case, then time will heal. You've got a job to do, Dave. You'll have to be very tolerant.
Yes, of course.
And if things don't go too well, drop in and see me, will you? I'm always glad to see old friends. Take her home now, Dave. Oh, and here, take a cigar with you, and, one for the baby, too.
Oh, David. Thank you for being yourself, my darling. Always so dependable. Always.
Yeah. Tears? What's this?
Oh, David, sometimes I wish we were just the way we were when we were first married. No babies, and now... When it was just you and me, we protected each other. Now we've got to protect the baby, but we get no protection from him.
Alice.
The baby's so new. He's amoral, conscience-free. What's that noise?
Noise?
Up. I don't know. In there.
I didn't hear anything. Oh, come on, you're tired, Alice. Bed with you.
Yes.
The baby's face was bright red and very moist. His small pink mouth opened and shut, opened and shut. His eyes were fiery blue. His hands leapt about in the air.
He's been crying. He doesn't cry very much, does he?
I didn't hear him. There, little fellow. We've got to find him a name. He's red in the face, isn't he? Crying alone. He can sleep in our room tonight.
You spoil him.
Spoil him or not, David Lieber took his new son into the big bedroom and placed him in one corner in his cot. Alice and he undressed, slowly in the darkness.
Blast. I forgot to tell you, I've got to go to Birmingham on Friday.
Oh, David.
I put it off for 2 months. Now it's critical. Have to go.
Afraid to be alone.
And he'll be gone a few days. New cook will be here on Friday. I love you.
Afraid to be alone, Dave. I can't explain why.
If you want me to, I'll put it off a few days. Perhaps I
No,
could...
you must go. It's important.
What are you doing? You mustn't do that. You wait.
Look.
The baby lay wide awake in its cot in the corner, staring straight at them with deep, sharp, blue eyes.
Switch the light off.
It's not nice. Being afraid of the thing you gave birth to. He tried to kill me. He lies there, listening to us talking. He's waiting for you to go away so he can kill me. I swear it.
Please, stop it, please.
But she sobbed for a long time in the darkness. And then she relaxed and slept. It took longer before he was able to sleep. And as he dozed off at last, he heard a strange little sound of awareness and awakeness in the room. The baby. And then sleep. The next morning the sun blazed and Alice smiled, and David Lieber played with his son for a while after breakfast before catching the train to Birmingham.
There, little no-name fella. There, see?
He dangled his watch over the crib.
Something bright. See? Something pretty. Something pretty. Something bright.
David Lieber was away for 6 days before the telephone call to his hotel. The call came from Colleton, in the West Country. His home.
Hello. Alice? Anything wrong?
Dave, this is Jeffer speaking.
Doctor?
Hold on to yourself, Dave. Alice is sick. You'd better get the next train back. If you can, fly. It's pneumonia. Tired herself right into pneumonia. She's all right now. Just needs rest.
What about baby?
Fit as a fiddle. Cock of the walk.
Thanks, Doctor.
I won't desert you.
Well, now, you must rest, darling. You heard what the...
It was the baby again. I tried to lie to myself and say that I'm a fool, but baby knew. He knew I was weak from hospital. So he cried all night, every night. And when he wasn't crying, he'd be much too quiet. I knew if I switched on the light, he'd be lying there just staring at me.
Alice,
I was going to kill him, Dave. Yes, I was. When he'd only been gone a day, I went in and put my hands around his neck. I stood there for a long time. I was terribly afraid. And then I put all the covers over his face. I turned him upside down and pressed him down into the mattress. I ran out of the room and let me finish. When I went out, I thought it's simple. Baby smother every day. I thought no one will ever know. But when I went back, David, he was still alive. He was turned on his back again, alive, and breathing and smiling. I didn't touch him after that. I went away again, and I didn't feed him or anything. Perhaps the cook saw to him, I don't know. All I know is he lies there all the time thinking of ways to kill me, because I know too much about him. I've got no love for him. There's no protection between us. There never will be. Are you awake?
Sleep, darling. Must have rest.
Something's here. In the room. In the dark. Watching us.
Dreaming again.
And suddenly, she slept, and he lay beside her thinking what a sweet, weird creature she was. And then he heard the bedroom door sway open a few inches. He waited. There was nobody at the door. Alice didn't wake, so...
Better see to it. Go down. Make some milk or something.
Why do careless people leave things strewn around the house for other people to trip on? David Lieber groped around in the moon-lighted hallway and found the thing he'd slipped on. His hands froze, startled. His breath went in. His heart held 1 or 2 beats. The thing he held in his hand was a toy, a large, cumbersome patchwork doll he had bought as a joke for...
Who left that there like...
Alice drove him to work the next day.
I want to go away for a holiday. I don't know if you can take the time off now, darling, but well, if you can't, let me go on my own, please. We can get someone to look after the baby, I'm sure. But I just have to get away. I thought I was growing out of this thing, but I'm not. I can't stand being in the room with him, Dave. I just can't. He looks up at me as if he hates me. I must go away before something happens.
The only thing you're going to do is see a good psychiatrist.
All right, make the appointment. I'll see anyone you want me to.
Good. Drive home carefully, love. See you at supper. We must think of a name for the baby. This is becoming...
Yes. Bye, darling.
And David Lieber got out of his car and went to his office and spent a normal day checking shipments, questioning assistants, and dictating long, uninspired letters. By the end of the day, his head throbbed, and he was glad to be going home. The house seemed unnaturally silent. But it was Thursday, the cook's day off. He hung up his hat and coat in the hall. Late sunlight streamed down the stairwell from the window near the top of the hall. Where the sunlight touched, it took on the bright color of the patchwork doll sprawled at the bottom of the stairs, but he paid no attention to the doll. He could only look and not move, and look again at Alice. Alice lay in a broken, grotesque pallid gesturing and angling of her thin body at the bottom of the stairs, like a crumpled doll that doesn't want to play any more, ever. Alice was dead. The baby's face was red and moist with perspiration.
She's dead! Dead! Why?
Looks like it.
together?
She fell down the stairs, Doctor. She tripped on the doll and fell. I almost slipped on it the other night myself. Now, a funny thing, Doctor. I finally thought of a name for the baby. I've thought of a name. I'm going to have him christened next Sunday. Next Sunday. And you know what the name is I've chosen? I'm going to call him Lucifer.
11 o'clock. Night. A lot of strange people had come and gone through the house, taking the essential flame with them. Alice.
Alice wasn't crazy. She had good reason to fear the baby.
Don't follow after her. She blamed the child for her sickness. Now you blame it for her death. She stumbled on a toy, remember? You can't blame the child for that.
You mean Lucifer?
Stop calling him that.
Alice heard things at night moving in the hall. You want to know what made those noises, Doctor? They were made by the baby. 4 months old, moving in the dark, listening to us talk, listening to every word. If I turned the lights on, well, a baby's so small it can hide behind furniture.
Yes,
below eye level.
You've got to stop.
Let me say what I believe or I'll go crazy. When I went up to Birmingham, who was it kept Alice awake, tiring her into pneumonia? The baby? And when Alice didn't die, he tried killing me. Oh, it was simple. Leave a toy on the stairs, cry in the night till your father goes down the stairs to fetch milk and stumbles. It didn't get me, but it killed Alice. I should have caught on. I turned on the lights many a time in the night, and that baby was lying awake, eyes open. Most babies sleep all the time, not this one. He stayed awake, thinking.
Babies don't think.
How do we know what's in a baby's mind? He had every reason to hate Alice. She suspected him for what he was. Certainly not a normal child. You know how babies kill their mothers at birth? It's because they resent being forced into a rotten world like this one. Suppose one child in 1 billion, born perfectly aware, able to think, reason. He could pretend to be weak, ordinary. But when nobody was about, with just a little expenditure of energy, he could crawl around a darkened house, watching, listening. How easy to place objects at the top of the stairs. Strange little creatures, babies, who move in a bloody darkness. Little brains swarming with racial memory, hatred, raw cruelty. Just one thought. Self-preservation. There's nothing in all the world more selfish than a baby. What is more at peace, more dreamfully content, at rest, fed, comforted, than an unborn child? Nothing. Then suddenly it's asked to give all this up. It's forced out into a noisy, uncaring world. It meets confusion instead of inner silence and conservative slumber. Dr. Jeffers, the child resents it. It resents the cold air, the huge spaces, the sudden departure from familiar things. And so, in the tiny filament of brain, the child knows only one thing, hatred, because the spell's been shattered. Who's responsible for the dream being broken? Easy. The mother. The mother's cast it out, rejected it. The father's no doubt better, killed him too. He's responsible in his way.
Look, if what you say is true, then every woman in the world would have to look on her baby as something to dread.
And why not? A child's got a perfect alibi. 1,000 years of medical beliefs protected. My little boy, lying in his crib at night, his face moist and red, out of breath. From crying? No. From climbing in and out of his cot, from crawling long distances through darkened hallways. My little baby boy. I want to kill him!
You're not killing anyone. You're going to sleep for 24 hours. Sleep will change your mind, David. Here you are. Take these pills, with the water. There. Take them and go to bed.
David Lieber took the pills and drank the water. Then he allowed Jeffers to take him upstairs, and crying bitterly, he allowed himself to be put into bed. The doctor waited until he was moving deep into sleep, then left the house. Lieber, alone,
drifted down, down. He heard a noise.
What's that? What's that?
Something moved in the hall. David Lieber slept. The doctor placed his medical kit on a chair near the door. Something white moved out of sight at the top of the stairs. Just a suggestion of a movement. Jeffers only just noticed it. The smell of gas was in the house. Gas strong. Everywhere it seemed. From Lieber's room, strongest of all. Room gas-filled. Lieber lay motionless on the bed. The room billowed with gas which escaped from an open jet at the base of the wall near the cupboard. Lieber's body was cold. He'd been dead for quite a few hours.
Couldn't have switched on that gas himself. He was asleep when I left. Those pills were enough to knock him out.
The thought, the awful thought, struck him.
Wasn't suicide.
Opening the door to the nursery, Jeffers went in. The baby's cot stood by the window. It was empty.
The nursery door blew shut. You couldn't get back into your crib where it was safe. You didn't take into account the possibility of the door blowing shut, did you? A little thing like that. I'll find you. Somewhere in the house. Hiding. Pretending to be something you're not.
Downstairs, the doctor opened his medical bag and took something out. Took something out and held it in his hands. Something rustled down the hall. Something very small and very quiet. Jeffers turned rapidly.
I had to operate to bring you into this world. Now I can operate to take you out.
And the doctor raised his hand into the sunlight.
See, baby. Something bright. Something pretty.
A scalpel.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by Biotex, the new soap and pre-wash powder. The program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe.
It's 9:30.
Flying Scotsman was 2 hours late. That used to happen frequently during the war, especially when the Heinkels had been over during the night. The train was blacked out. The lights were dim. I was sharing a compartment with another officer, major of about 35. He was reading The Idiot. He smoked continuously. We spoke hardly at all. Just a word or two now and again. Above each of our seats was a notice which stated, "Idle chatter helps Hitler." But that wasn't why our conversation was so sporadic. We just had no curiosity about one another, that's all. I was going to Edinburgh, where my sister kept house for me. Perfect bore carrying these blasted gas masks around, isn't it? I had just endured 9 hours in a crowded troop ship. For all I knew then, he might have undergone a similar experience. We said not another word for more than an hour. My watch showed me it was beyond midnight.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McKay.
I received a letter from Mrs. Bookfights of Spoon Street, Lakeside, Cape Town during the week, and she wrote to me about Biotex. She said, "My daughter's June tunic was very badly stained, with the result she would not wear it. I decided to try Biotex, which you advertised, and I soaked the garment for a few hours, and much to my amazement, the stains disappeared. I have spoken about this product to my friends who are now using Biotex, and I'd like to say a big thank you for making this product available to us." Well, as I've been saying for a little while, Mrs. Bookfights and you other ladies, Biotex is absolutely marvelous when it comes to helping get rid of those very stubborn stains. I've kept on emphasizing that you let soaking do your washing, and you will notice that these stains just vanish by using Biotex merely by soaking overnight or for a couple of hours in warm water or pre-washing in your washing machine. It is spelt Biotex.
We're stopping. Signals, I suppose. This'll make us later than ever. Where are we?
Heaven knows, the end of the world. Yes, I think it is the end of the world. I recognize it. Doncaster, I think. Should be 80 miles.
We've lost 70 or 80 miles then. Rough, isn't it, catching a train that's half a day late when you've only got 2 weeks' leave?
Been overseas?
Singapore.
Tough.
My regiment had retreated for 4 months through the Malayan jungle, only to be practically annihilated at the docks at Singapore. I was the only officer left alive. But one didn't talk shop in those days, so we said no more about the war.
Seen any good shows in London?
Vatican's play wasn't bad.
But that came off months ago.
Did it? Time passes.
Does it? Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, time drags on a train.
I think we both went to sleep then. I remember I dreamt of cups of tea. It seemed so long since I'd had a cup of hot tea.
We just passed through Peebles. We should be in about half an hour.
Do you live in Edinburgh too?
No. But I used to. That's why I'm going there.
You mean you live just outside the city?
No. No, I don't live anywhere now.
The war's a ruddy bore. Late uproots, chaps. If you've nowhere to stay in Edinburgh, my sister and I would be awfully pleased to put you up.
Oh, thanks very much. I should be glad of your hospitality for a night or two.
Of course, your wife...
No. I'm alone. I'm not married.
Angela was waiting for me at Edinburgh. She was wearing a rather chic hat, and the severity of her tweeds contradicted it somehow. Everything about Angela was a compromise. Her looks were striking. She wished to be the centre of attraction, and yet she dressed so demurely that you would pass her without a second glance. She always had good legs, and yet the heavy brogue she always wore ruined the effects of the sheerest silk stocking. Her eyes were pretty, so was her mouth, but her chin was too heavy. Nature seemed to have fought a bit over her, I always thought. She always had a good chest, but it seemed to embarrass her, because she was always determined to flatten it like they used to in the 20s. She never quite succeeded here, though. Nature fought back. Major Buckle noticed her at once. Couldn't take his eyes off her.
Alice! Oh, Alice! Oh, darling, how good to see you.
This is Major Buckle, Major Peter Buckle. I've invited him to stay a little while with us.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello.
By the time we reached the ticket barrier, I knew that Buckle wanted to get a lot closer to Angela and my sister than the 2.5 feet apart from your handshake. I remember thinking vaguely that it would be nice if they could get together, perhaps. Angela had only had me to look after for such a long time, but I didn't dwell on this. It was wartime, and you don't think very seriously about anything future. Not in wartime. But it is very strange to think back to the events of those days. The events and their fantastic conclusion. If only I'd had the slightest idea of what was to happen, I could have spoken to Buckle, perhaps. But I'm jumping the gun. The next few days, after the arrival at Edinburgh, were, I think, the happiest in Angela's life.
Breakfast, Alex, darling.
Oh.
Did you sleep well? Morning, Peter. Sleep well?
I'd like a talk.
Breakfast. Eggs 3.5. Just like you said. I nearly got them mixed up with Alex's. He's a 4-minute man. I'll just hop into the bath while you eat.
Want me to scrub your back?
Today we'll have a picnic. Oh, it's lovely having 2 men to supper with us. It's jolly well right that they should have breakfast in bed. Poor darling's leave is so short. I haven't felt so useful since Father died.
Her cheek shone, her hair took on a luster I'd never seen before. She was up at dawn each day, ironing shirts, making sandwiches. The presence of the guests in the house gave her an excuse for any luxury she planned. Picnics, fresh fruit salads. War, you'd never have thought there was a war. To Angela, there was no war.
I'll sling this sponge at you, Alex, if you rinse your razor in my bath. It's a filthy trick.
Buckle, what about
That is me.
Love hot water. Alex, no!
Always rinse the razor in the bath. Habit. Mustn't break habits. It's more time.
Alex, do you like him?
Immensely.
They seem to get on so well together. I can hardly believe that you only met him on a train 3 days ago. Yet he's so reticent. I hardly know a thing about him.
You need to?
No, not if you like it.
We passed the next few days very idly, without plan or purpose. Picnics during the day, pub calls in the evenings. I explained the plot of the play I was going to write, and Angela, after 2 whiskeys, said it was brilliant. We were very happy. Peter Buckle didn't talk much. He seemed to have attached himself to me, listened attentively, sometimes embarrassingly, to all I had to say. Because of Angela's fondness for me, she naturally became very warm towards Peter. I don't think he attracted her physically. He was too vague, nebulous, and undefined a person for her to have any feelings as precise as that. But I noticed on the 4th night, when Angela kissed me goodnight, she kissed Buckle as well, since he happened to be sitting beside me. By the end of the fortnight, there seemed to be some sort of understanding between them. It wasn't love. It looked dangerously like the imminence of marriage, though.
What a crush. Oh, dear.
Listen. Johnny. You know, I met a chap the other day who believes this war will go on till 1950. And then it's going to end in a stalemate.
And it'll all have been an awful waste of time then, won't it? Oh, look. Poor Alex. Asleep already.
Ah. Well, that's a good idea.
Oh, yes, isn't it?
Angela. Will you marry me?
Yes, all right. You want me to?
Thanks.
It's not a funny place to propose, isn't it? Lying down in a tube station.
Yes, I suppose it is, really.
Must be something to do with lying down. The English are awful prudes, but once they're horizontal, they're very daring. I mean, look at them in parks and that. Oh, yes, it would be nice to be married. When shall we do it?
When? Oh, really? In a couple of days.
They were joined in holy wedlock 2 days later by special license at Paxtons House. I gave her away, and Buckle received her. We were both slightly hilarious and a little drunk. Only Angela was serious, or sober. And now, the whole thing moved swiftly towards its odd, and I must admit, rather frightening climax.
His car. Johnson's Rally, the new car wax with the detergent-proof formula, won't wash off. It's detergent resistant. Rally gives sure wax protection that's deep and long-lasting. And the finish is fast, very fast. Johnson's Rally car wax in liquid or paste form.
Soak, soak, that's all you have to do. Soak, soak, just for an hour or 2 you'll find this soap as good as new when you use new Biotex.
Amazing new Biotex acts with a biological action to soak out the stubbornest stains and loosen dirt. New Biotex is great for all textiles and synthetics, whites and colors. It contains no bleach. Get amazing new Biotex today and let soaking do the washing.
Tonight's the honeymoon. Send me a postcard from Brighton, won't you?
Oh, please, sir. Couldn't Alex come too?
Yes, why not? Come on, Alex. But I've only got a flat. Well, never mind. We'll pick that up later.
And that was that. I went with them to Brighton on their honeymoon. And we took one double room and one single room at... I forget the hotel. That first morning I didn't bother to get up. I lay in bed reading until... must have been 8:30. Angela knocked on my door.
Hello? Yes?
Hello?
Oh, hello, Angie. Have a good... You are bright and early.
I thought Peter would be here.
Here?
Oh, chatting to you or something.
No. What?
He must have got up ever so early. I've already had breakfast. I took a walk down to the beach. I thought he might have gone for a swim or something. He's not down there.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, I had an awfully funny dream in the night.
did you?
You want to hear about it?
Yes, I'd love to.
Got a fag? Oh, Tar. You?
No, I haven't cleaned my teeth yet.
I know. I can smell your breath. It's all pale and pongy. Oh, my husband's gone. Anyway, in this dream, I'd been out hunting. But instead of riding a horse, I was sitting astride a giraffe. We'd been galloping quite out of control through this forest, and every tree was on fire. Isn't that funny?
Yes.
I wonder where he is. Where could he have gone?
Probably for a walk.
See you in the dining room.
But you had breakfast, haven't you?
Yes. I think I have some more there. I wonder how hungry it makes me. Dreaming.
The hotel porter hadn't seen Major Buckle. The dining room staff didn't know where he'd gone to either. We went down onto the beach and had a look for him among the early bathers sporting themselves in and out of the waves. He wasn't there. Wasn't anywhere, it seemed. We went back to the hotel. It was getting very late by now. The porter again said he hadn't seen Peter. Said it in a very reassuring way, as if he took it for granted that Angela didn't want to see her husband.
That fool of a porter thinks we're having an affair. You're frightened your husband will come and catch us red-handed. I'm sorry. I thought that might have amused you. Where the devil can he be?
There's no note or anything. No message.
Maybe he's been called up to London by the War Office or something. Urgent business. This sort of thing happens every day. Chap in our regiment got called off on some secret mission first day of his leave.
Phoned?
Well, maybe he did when we were out.
Well, then there'd have been a message.
Well, we'll wait till lunchtime, then I'll phone the club. If he got up very early and got the first train, he'll be in London easily by now. He's sure to lunch at the club. Hang on a bit. Let's go have some coffee.
All right, Alex.
I phoned the club, and when I came out of the kiosk, I shook my head, and Angela went to pack. She was now very worried. So was I, but with more reason. I didn't tell her that when I inquired after her husband, the secretary of the club had blandly replied that Buckle was dead. Of course, I made up my mind at the time that there just had to be two members with the same name. But all the same, it was a shock, I can tell you.
Ah, Captain McLean. Thank you, Corporal. They rang from downstairs. Told me you were coming up to see me.
It's good of you to meet us, Colonel Hutchinson. This is my sister Angela.
Very good.
Oh, how do you do?
Very well, thanks. Thank you.
Yes, we felt we had to come to the War Office.
Do sit down, please.
Thank you.
You see, sir, if Major Buckle's been recalled to his unit or dispatched on some mission, I really think it's only fair that his wife should be told, especially in these circumstances.
What circumstances?
Well,
we were on our honeymoon. We were only married yesterday afternoon.
You did say Major Peter Buckle of the Black Watch.
Yes, sir.
Bring me a list of the Black Watch. Well, We'll clear this up, I hope. Cigarette, would you?
No, not for me, thank you, Colonel.
Don't mind if I do.
No, of course not, sir.
Drags on, doesn't it? You're on leave, I take it, Captain?
Yes, sir. Drags on. Oh, the war, yes. Well, economics, you know. That's what historians tell us.
They're wrong, the historians. Wars are not caused by economics. Not at all. Economics is their excuse. Excuse for war. The reason for war is that it destroys what we want destroyed. The status quo with which we identify our own inhibitions. War alone releases our personal relationships. It's not a necessary evil, but a necessary pleasure. Well, yes. If we were honest, we would admit that all the horror, all the slaughter, the cruelty, suffering which war entails remain for us merely regrettable statistics. What means something to us is that war provides us with that sense of insecurity which is life, when peace is seen as respectable and as dull as death.
Well, surely there are other ways. I mean, so?
Yes, there are other ways. It's true that a drunken orgy might provide a similar release. It is rather difficult to remain drunk for several years. More, though, we can indulge ourselves without guilt. Indeed, our excuses become duties, and any behavior is condoned under the blanket of a great sacrifice, which we curse publicly, but enjoy privately. Oh, thank you. Yes, national disasters can be borne with comfortable fortitude. It's personal sorrow, not grief for another, but a lack in our own life which is so unbearable. It's a burden we would put down, though 1 million men fall with it. Huh? Oh, yes.
I don't know what to do. I mean, once your leave's over, Alex, it's going to be so ridiculous. I mean, I don't feel as if I've got a husband.
Wherever he is, he'll write I'll go. Please don't. Other things.
Yes, I will now.
Yes, I thought it was unlikely. There was just a chance that there were 2 officers of the same name and rank in the same regiment. As I said, there must be some mistake. Major Buttle was blown to pieces before my eyes 6 months ago.
Impossible.
A mine exploded under his car. Very little was left of Buttle, but quite enough to identify him. The man whom he married yesterday must have been an imposter, masquerading as Major Buttle.
No, I'm sure he was genuine. I'd have spotted it if he wasn't.
I'm sorry, Captain, but I doubt it. There are plenty of these people who pass themselves off as officers these days. You must trace this Major Buttle of yours. Intelligence will want to question him. I suppose you've got a photograph of him. Did he look remotely like this?
Yes, that's Peter.
That's impossible, I'm afraid, madam. If you have a photograph of your husband, you can compare it with this one. I'm sure you'll see that the likeness is only enough to justify the impostor in his attempt. Have you such a photograph?
No, Yes.
Yes, of course. We took several snaps on the picnic.
Took quite a few relics, my brother and Peter, on a picnic just outside Edinburgh.
A couple of weeks ago. The film isn't developed yet. I've got it with me, as a matter of fact. Carried around all this time. I've been meaning to get...
I think we'd better have it developed here.
I gave the film to the Colonel, and then Angela and I went to a canteen for a cup of tea while they developed the photos. When we returned, the Colonel looked strangely embarrassed.
Yes, very nice, these sets. Your brother looks quite a film star.
Let me see.
And Angela stared at the prints, and then looked at me. I looked, too, at the photos. There were 6 photographs of me. But there was no trace of any figure, however dim, standing beside me.
I came into possession of the Lancerford House through the accident of my uncle's death. My inheritance from him enabled me to buy it, for it was the isolated kind of dwelling I'd been looking for in order to finish a novel I was working on. I've always found it impossible to create anything worthwhile in the noise of the city. The house was fully furnished, but since it had been empty for many years, it was extremely dusty, and I spent my first day cleaning away the dust in the few rooms I intended to use. Lancerford House. I remember the place as if it were only yesterday I discovered the green vase, learnt its terrible secret, and passed so nearly through the veil that separates sanity and the madness that lies beyond midnight.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McCabe.
Lancerford House. The agent hadn't been enthusiastic. I got the impression that he didn't much care whether he sold me the place or not.
There's nothing extraordinary about Lancerford House, Mr. Royd. It's very big, of course, and it's only built and big in those days. If it wasn't so strongly built, it would have fallen to pieces years ago. A house needs to be cared for. Leave it empty.
Well, it's what I'm looking for. Nicely back from the road, surrounded by trees.
A lot of trees, yes.
Fields, pastures. It's hard to find somewhere without any close neighbors these days.
Oh, I can show you others. There's a place in...
Mr. Feltham, I want to buy Lancerford.
You do?
I do.
Well then, nothing else I can...
No.
Right. You, write books, you said?
I write books, yes. When can I take possession?
Today.
Oh, marvelous. I'm halfway through a book at the moment, you see. I've been stuck for weeks. I need peace now. Quiet. No. For 5 days after moving in, I worked from 5 in the morning right through the day until it was dark. The book progressed beautifully. I was even thinking of who the film rights should go to when I hit another dull patch. Nothing. I destroyed a few thousand words and left the typewriter until a possible return of inspiration. I was fairly satisfied, though, and it was with a lot of pleasure that I began to examine more carefully the house I'd so quickly and perhaps rashly bought. In most ways, it was typical of the houses erected in the country 100 years ago. It needed a lot of money spent on it before it would assume the splendor it deserved, but I needed only 1 or 2 rooms. One thing puzzled me. The little attic. Locked. No key. Why is that, then? And of course, I want to know what's in there now. Give that agent a ring. Treasure? Fat chance. Wonder why this door should be locked when all the others are open. I started to rearrange the kitchen the next day. I knew instinctively that no good would come of hammering the typewriter. The place was in a terrible state. I cleaned out some cupboards, did a bit of inexpert scrubbing, and then, while I was reaching up to hook a number of miscellaneous objects out of a sort of old-fashioned tall boy thing in a corner, I accidentally knocked off a shelf a canister. It opened, and a piece of folded paper fell out. An old piece of paper, brown with age, badly worn and tattered. There was writing on the paper. It was barely legible. The ink had faded badly, and large sections of the script had been worn or torn away. It was dated over 30 years before, and all that remained of the entire first paragraph beneath the date was
Stephen Lansford, a young man of 25.
And that was all the first paragraph said. Thereafter occurred a puzzling sequence of half lines, sentences, paragraphs, in this order.
To have him tutored in the arts, particularly gifted in pottery making. Stephen developed a great fondness for his tutor, and under his guidance did the only constructive work of his life. A crude, ugly vase, bilious green in color. Stephen was proud of it. Kept it on the center of a small table in the living room. Dismissed. Stephen raged for days, and there began a subtle deterioration of a character which had always heretofore been shy and retiring. Ugly metamorphosis, kind of madness in the course of which he would never allow his vase to be moved. Made his mother promise that it would never be moved under pain of dire punishment, but left to stand where he had put it. Some strange elemental bond seemed to have developed between the young man and his creation. After Stephen's death, Mrs. Lansford was unable to bear the thought of it. Instead, she had the casket sealed, obtained permission from the authorities, and in the attic. Thereafter, rigid adherence to her promise. Stipulation in her will adjuring all future occupants not to move the vase. When a relative came to live in the house after her death, body torn, rent apart, found beside the table. I will, I know, eventually lift the vase.
And that's all. I couldn't make a lot of sense out of it, I must admit. I tried to read, to make out the bits that had faded, but it wasn't possible. On the end of the whole thing was a signature. Matthew Hargrove. Suddenly I remembered seeing, in the living room, which I hadn't had time to clean, a small table pushed over against the wall with a cloth covering an object of some bulk. That would be it, all right. See what they meant in their letter thing. It is crude. Ugly as sin. Matthew Hargrove. Wonder who he was. Or is. There was nothing in Uncle's papers about anyone of that name. Matthew Hargrove.
Matthew Hargrove. Matthew Hargrove. You the young chap that bought the Lanceford place?
Yes, I expect to be a regular customer here.
People don't talk much about what happened to that Hargrove man. Used to be Mrs. Lansford's lawyer. Wrote up the old woman's will. Oh, queer that was. All about some vase thing her son made. Funny things went on after she died, you see. You want anything more than the razor blades, do you?
What funny things?
Well, there was Reuben Yates. That was her cousin. Came down when she got sick and stayed. You're from the town, aren't you? You don't get to hear about things like we do down here in the country, you see.
What happened to Reuben Yates?
Reuben Yates. Well, they found him next to that table with the vase on it.
said he was torn apart.
I see. And where does Matthew Hargrove come in?
Oh, right after. He was the next one to move into the house. But he was the next one found by the table, too. Same as Reuben Yates. People say that they that saw him got sick in their stomachs for weeks afterwards.
And then?
No more. Nobody else moved into that house. From then till the day you moved in, nobody. Nobody at all.
The inference behind Mrs. Calkins, the lady in the village shop's words, added to those in the fragmented letter, began to take a kind of nagging form in my thoughts. For the rest of that day, I tried to write. I couldn't. No city noises. But there was another distraction now. The vase, and the strange story behind it. The living room drew me, and I went in. I looked at the ugly thing for a long, long time, and then I stretched out my hand to lift it. Suddenly I remembered Reuben Yates and Matthew Hargrove. Come on, Royd. Stop me. But even so, I only lifted the thing a quarter of an inch from the little table. It was about 10 seconds later that I heard it. I replaced the vase. How can I describe it? I don't know where it came from. Somewhere in the house. Somewhere, to be sure. It reminded me of nothing I'd ever heard in the whole of my life before. Silence followed. Deep, deep silence. Then I tilted the vase again. This time the reaction was instantaneous. I went and got a brandy and sat down for a while to recover my composure. It was then that I remembered the attic. It took me a long time to summon up the courage, but I had to know. I went back and quickly slipped a penny under the vase on the table. Then I ran upstairs. I got down on my hands and knees and tried to peer through the keyhole. I couldn't see anything. As I was struggling to my feet, I felt a thin current of air cross my face. A short, warm draught of air. But there was no attic window through which the wind could enter, and the air that struck my face was warm. I bent down again, and this time I put my ear to the keyhole. I felt it again, coming out of the keyhole. Not a draft. Not a draft at all. What I felt was breathing.
Airwick handy in your home. Airwick is the modern air freshener. It doesn't just mask smells with heavy scent, it actually knocks them right out of the air. Airwick keeps the home sweet, with a country fresh atmosphere in every room. Put Airwick on your shopping list. It comes in economical bottle or up-to-the-minute aerosol. Get Airwick.
That's all you have to do. Soak, just for an hour or two you'll find this soap as good as new when you use new Biotech.
Amazing new Biotech soap stubborn stains away.
Clean, everything soon will be clean, for all the world to see. Soap, stay find a way easily when you use new Biotex.
Get amazing new Biotex today and let soaking do the washing.
Why I did it, I don't know. Even then, something told me I was meddling in things I could never hope to understand. There was something in the house I knew then that could bathe me in the fires of purgatory forever and a day. But I came down the stairs and placed 2 more coins under the vase, tilting it further. I immediately returned to the attic door. I no longer heard mere breathing through that keyhole from the room beyond. I did not wait long. Something was trying to get out. I removed the coins again from under the vase, and it once more rested as it had done so for 30 years. All next day, the memory of that experience preyed on me. I couldn't work. I could hardly bear to be alone. The vase exercised an unholy fascination on me. I was in desperate need of company, and that's why I wrote an invitation to Edward Clayton and asked him to spend a week with me to celebrate my inheritance. He came as I knew he would. We'd been great friends for many years, but for the first 3 days, I was loath to confide in him.
Ah, this could be splendid, Dennis. This room, light, airy. Have to do something with those curtains, of course, but... and what's this?
For the love of heaven, don't touch that vase.
Oh, why not? What's this?
Sit down. I'll tell you.
Hmm?
Sit down. I told him everything that had happened since I took possession of the house, but he made little effort to conceal his skepticism.
Oh, Dennis. Come on, man. I mean,
you must take me seriously.
But granting that what you say is true, what... I mean, what the devil does it mean?
I don't know. You read the letter?
Hmm? Oh, yes. It just read it in front of you, didn't I?
Edward, promise me you will not touch that vase.
But that put me in the position of subscribing to your fears.
Please.
All right, promise. Scout's honor. I need beer. Lots of cold beer. Come on, the ghost isn't walking at the moment.
He promised. Oh, yes. But he promised without believing. And perhaps the very promise he made was a challenge. Next day, he seemed unable to concentrate. Twice when I spoke to him, he didn't hear me. He was in a kind of dream, thinking of something else. I knew what it was. I did everything I could to divert his attention. I read him part of my novel, which had come to a full stop. He listened and made some favorable comments. For a while. But I knew I was not holding his attention. He kept wandering about the house, and inevitably his journeying took him by or into the room where the table and the vase upon it had lived for the past 30 years. This thing seems to fascinate you.
Hmm?
The vase.
Vase? Oh, the vase.
You can't take your eyes off it. I've been watching you.
Oh, at first, well, I thought it was a fairy story.
And now?
Well, now I'm not so sure. I wonder.
Don't. Some malignance is associated with that thing. Some bond ties it to something in the attic.
What do you...
I mean something linked with it in space or time.
Or in the attic.
Or in the attic, yes.
If you think so, why haven't you been up there to see me?
It's locked.
Well,
I couldn't bring myself to break in.
There's no time like the present, then, is there? You game?
I don't know.
Well, make up your mind. You can't just live here with half-truths. You either find out there's something nasty and horrible around, in which case you move out. Or you find out it's all a silly mistake. Lay the ghost and continue writing your book in peace. And incidentally, I think your book will be very splendid.
Thank you.
So, let's go and see what's up in the attic. Bring the lamp.
All right.
Got the lamp?
Yes.
Coat off, I think. Danger. Men at work. Yep.
Our lamplight flooded the room. In the middle of the attic floor stood a coffin. Just a coffin. Nothing else. Not even a rug was to be seen in that gabled room. The coffin was festooned with spiders' webs, as if it had not been disturbed for decades.
Sealed. I take it that this is Stephen Lanceford's coffin. His mother had him put here.
I imagine so. Yes. The vase is the one he made in the letter. You remember?
Yes, exactly. Well, yes, I know what you're thinking. It doesn't hold water, Dennis, and you ought to be the first to see it.
Nothing about this thing holds water, as you put it.
Suppose it isn't a bad place to rest. If you were dead, I mean, dry at least. Better than 6 feet under, eh? Don't stare at it like that. Nothing's going to rise up out of it, Dennis.
Isn't it?
No. Ghoulish lot, the Lanceford, then.
Let's get out of here.
Okay. What are you going to do about this room, attic?
I'm going to seal it. Nail it up.
I need one. This moaning noise you talked about.
Yes?
Care to demonstrate?
All right. Listen.
I'm all ears.
Slowly, I lifted the green vase, half an inch off the table. I replaced the vase.
Interesting.
All right. Now you've heard.
Let's have that drink, and then I think I'm ready for bed. Books come to a dead stop at the moment. Do you know what? If nothing happens with the book, I mean, by the time you leave, I'll come back to town for a while. If and when I sell my book, if it's published and makes money, maybe I'll have this place. What are you doing? Put the vase down!
I'm
him, whereupon he lifted the vase high above his head and backed away, grinning madly. Then we heard the attic door beaten down. The colour drained from Edward Clayton's face.
Take the vase, Dennis! My God! My God!
He dropped the vase, it smashed into 100 pieces, and then the thing was at the door, and the door opened, and it was in the room.
Dennis!
I leapt towards the window, and before I crashed through the glass, I half-turned. Something had entered that room beyond my range of sight, for Edward was hanging limply aloft in mid-air.
Here. Thanks. So, that's about it then, eh?
That's it. Poor Edward. Poor Edward.
Now, steady on. The doctor said you've not to get out of bed. You've had a shock.
Poor Edward. I told him. I did, Sergeant.
Yes. Well, the folks from Burnstrom went up there, and there he was. Just like the others. It was a thing neither you nor any other man could have done. There's one more thing, sir, I'm afraid to have to tell you. They took matters into their own hands. They burned down your house. Took your stuff out first and set fire to the house.
Yes, it was just as well. I couldn't have gone back there.
Funny thing, though. You said the vase was smashed on the floor.
It was.
When we found it, all the broken pieces were piled together, as neat as you please. Smack in the middle of the table.
Past 9.
The last stragglers were leaving Mariners' Waxworks. The uniformed attendants, glad that another day's work was over, were locking up. On the second floor of the old grey building, the manager, a stout, blond man of smart appearance, was talking to one Raymond Hewson, who looked anything but smart. His clothes, although good once, were showing distinct signs of their owner's losing battle with the world.
There's nothing new in your request. In fact, we refuse it to many people. Young bloods have often made bets, but we don't play ball. We've nothing to gain and something to lose by letting people spend the night in our murderer's den.
A night in the murderer's den. That's what Raymond Hewson, the man in the shabby clothes, was after. Why? You'll find out. The Waxworks. I must earnestly beseech you not to listen to this beyond midnight alone.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McCabe.
I had a letter recently from Mrs. V.P., head of 7th Street, Parkmore, Johannesburg, and she said, I cannot fully describe my utter delight on returning to the washing to find the stubborn stains of 2 months' standing completely removed. I am so glad I discovered your product, Biotex. And now Mrs. J. Longman of Cambridge, West East London, wrote to say, just a word of thanks for your new soak and wash powder, Biotex. I find it almost too good to be true. I've just finished my first packet, and I washed all my baby's woolens with it, and they really do stay white. And what is more, they keep their shape so well, too. Once again, thanks for a wonderful product. I'm just hoping you won't wait too long before putting a large economy-size packet on the market. Well, thank you, Mrs. Head of Parkmore, and Mrs. Longman for your endorsements. I, too, can endorse Biotex by making certain claims to you, ladies, the most important of which is that with Biotex, the stubbornest, the very stubbornest stains just vanish merely by soaking.
We certainly have nothing to gain. If I allowed it and let some young idiot lose his senses, what would be my position? But of course, your being a journalist somehow, that alters the case.
Well, I suppose you mean that journalists have no senses to lose.
No. But one imagines them to be sensible, responsible people. Besides, here we have something to gain. Publicity and advertisement.
Exactly. And there I thought we might come to terms.
Oh, I know what's coming. You want to be paid twice, do you? It used to be said years ago that Madame Tussauds would give a man £100 for sleeping alone in the Chamber of Horrors. And I hope you don't think we've made any such offer. Now, what's your paper?
Well, I'm freelancing at the moment, working on space for 2 or 3 papers. But, well, I don't think I'll have any trouble in getting this story published. Do you? Morning Echo would use it like a shot. A night with Mariner's murderers. No live paper could turn it down.
How do you propose to treat it?
Well, I'll make it gruesome, of course, but with just a saving touch of humour.
I see. All right, Mr. Houston. Get your story published in the Echo, and there'll be a £5 note waiting for you here when you care to come and call for it. I'd like to be sure about you, though. And I'd like you to be sure about yourself. I must confess that I wouldn't spend a night in Murderer's Den. I've seen those figures dressed and undressed. I know all about their process of manufacture. I can walk about in company downstairs as if I were walking among so many skittles. But I'd hate to sleep alone down there amongst them.
Why?
I don't know. There isn't any reason. I mean, I don't believe in ghosts. Even if I did, I'd expect them to haunt the scenes of their crimes or the place where their bodies were laid, not a cellar which just happens to contain their waxwork effigies. It's just that I couldn't sit alone among them all night. They seem to stare so. Well, I mean, after all, they do represent the lowest and most appalling forms of humanity. Now, I wouldn't admit this publicly, of course, but the people who come to see our murderers aren't generally charged with the highest motives themselves. No, the whole atmosphere of the place is unpleasant. And if you're susceptible to atmosphere, I warn you, you're in for a very uncomfortable night.
Well, sir, I'm imaginative, I think. I am probably susceptible to atmosphere, as you put it. But it's a good idea. And I've a wife and family to support. Been a bit unlucky lately, in the job stakes, you know. And, well, we're living on my savings, which aren't great. But after all, they are only waxworks, aren't they?
You're not superstitious?
No, I don't think so.
But you just said that you have an imagination. As a journalist, you'd need a reasonably strong one, after all.
The editors I've worked for have often complained I haven't any.
All right. I think the last of the people have gone. Now, wait a minute. I'll give orders that the figures happen to be draped. I'll let the night people know you're going to be there, too. One condition, I'm afraid, I must impose on you. I must ask you not to smoke. We had a fire scare down in the murderer's den this evening. I don't know who gave the alarm, but whoever it was a false one. Fortunately, there weren't very many people down there at the time, or there might have been a panic. All right. A night with Mariner's murderers you want. A night with Mariner's murderers you shall have.
In the passage at the bottom of the stairs were a few preliminary horrors. A rack taken from a medieval castle, relics of the Inquisition, branding irons, thumbscrews. Beyond was the passage into the murderer's den. The Waxworks. Fertel, the murderer of Weir, stood as if frozen in his diabolical act. Within 5 yards of him sat Mrs. Thompson. There was Lefroy, who killed for gain so that he might ape the gentleman, and Charles Peace, sneering across a gangway at Norman Thorne. Brown and Kennedy, the two most recent additions, stood between Mrs. Dyer and Patrick Mahon.
Oh, no, that's Crippen. I expect you recognize him. Insignificant little beast. Looks as if he couldn't play on a worm. Oh, there's Armstrong. Looks like a decent, harmless country gentleman, doesn't he? And of course this...
Who's this?
Oh, yes, I was coming to him. He's our star turn. He's the only one of the bunch who hasn't been hanged.
The figure Hewson had indicated was that of a small, slight man, not more than 5 feet in height. It wore little waxed moustaches, large spectacles, and a caped coat. There was something so exaggeratedly French in his appearance that it reminded Hewson of a stage caricature.
Who is he?
That is Dr. Bourdet.
Oh. Don't think I've... Well, somehow the name's familiar, but I forget...
Well, you'd remember better if you were a Frenchman. For some long while, that man was the terror of Paris. He carried on his work of healing by day and of throat-cutting by night, when the fit was on him. He killed for the sheer devilish pleasure it gave him to kill, and always the same way, with a razor. After his last crime, he left a clue behind him which set the police on his track. Now, one clue led to another, and before long they knew they were on the track of the Parisian equivalent of Jack the Ripper. They had enough evidence to send him to the madhouse or the guillotine on 12 capital charges.
And they caught him then?
No. Our friend was too clever for them, even then. When he realized the net was closing, he just vanished. Disappeared off the face of the earth. Ever since the police of every civilized country have been searching for him.
Oh, where can he have possibly gone to? I mean, with such a hunt on for him...
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Did himself in, obvious. But in such a way that prevented his body coming to light. Now, 1 or 2 crimes of a smaller, though similar nature have taken place since he disappeared, but he's believed to be dead. The experts think the crimes, in a sense, are, the actions of imitators.
Look at his eyes.
Yes, that little figure's a masterpiece. You find the eyes bite into you, don't you?
Sort of, yes.
Well, that's excellent realism, then.
What do you mean?
Mesmerism.
Pardon?
Bourdet practiced mesmerism. He was supposed to mesmerize his victims before dispatching them.
Oh.
Indeed, had he not done so, it's difficult to believe how so small a man could have done his ghastly work.
He's very small, isn't he? Doesn't look very strong or anything.
Well, there were never any signs of a struggle. There's an armchair here for you, Mr. Hewson. It's the best we can do for you, I'm afraid. I hope you'll be able to get some sleep. Mr. Hewson. Mr. Hewson.
I
thought... Yes?
Well, I thought, just then, I thought I saw... the doctor, Bourdet, silly, but... Well, I thought I saw him move.
Keep your home sweet with country fresh atmosphere in every room. Keep Airwick handy. Airwick is the air freshener that actually knocks odors right out of the air. It doesn't just mask them with heavy scent. Airwick is the modern air freshener, in economical bottle or a smart aerosol. Get Airwick. It makes breathing a little nicer.
Soak, soak, that's all you have to do. Soak, soak, just for an hour or two you'll find things look as good as new when you use the Biotex.
With amazing new Biotex, the stubbornest stains will vanish. Yes, vanish clean away. Just by soaking your laundry overnight in cold water, or for an hour or two in warm water, or by pre-washing it quickly in your washing machine. Get amazing new Biotex today.
imagination. Silly, but... Well, I could have sworn... Just for a second...
You'll have more than one optical illusion before the night's out, I'm afraid. But you won't be locked in. You can come upstairs when you've had enough of it. There are watchmen on the premises, so you'll find company. But don't be alarmed if you hear them moving about. I'm sorry I can't give you any more light, but all the lights are on. For obvious reasons, we keep the place as gloomy as possible.
Yes.
And now I think you'd better return with me to the office for a tot of whiskey before your night's vigil,
Yes, well, for a start, I don't think we'll have my armchair facing friend Baudet. Yeah, I think I like him a lot less than the others.
The dim, unwavering light fell on the rows of figures, which were so uncannily like human beings that the stillness and the silence seemed unnatural, ghastly even. Hewson missed the sound of breathing, the rustling of clothes, the 101 minute noises one hears when even the deepest silence has fallen upon a crowd. The air was as stagnant as water at the bottom of a standing pool. Not a breath in the chamber to stir a curtain or rustle a hanging drapery or start a shadow.
Must be like this at the bottom of the sea. Have to work that into the story somehow. Like the bottom of the sea. Sinister lot, I must say. Even Armstrong doesn't look quite such a harmless country gentleman now. Still, they're only waxworks.
All would be well, thought Hewson. Yet somehow, what prevented him most of all from feeling absolutely comfortable was the knowledge that Dr. Baudet was directly behind him. He knew, in fact, that the little Frenchman's waxen stare was directed at the back of his neck. He itched with a desire to turn round.
Come on. My nerves have started already. If I turn and look at that dressed-up dummy, it'll be an admission of funk.
It's because you're afraid that you won't turn and look at him.
Rubbish. Not afraid at all.
Yes, you are.
Rot. Complete and utter rot. Afraid? A lot of waxworks.
Not of a lot of waxworks. Just one. Dr. Baudet.
French fool. Not so healthy now, is he?
Look at his eyes.
Don't want to see his eyes.
All the same, he had to eventually have a quick look round at Dr. Baudet.
Only a waxwork like the rest of them. They're all only waxworks.
All the same, he took another quick look behind him. Now, it did not worry Hewson too much, because it was, after all, only his imagination, but there seemed to be a subtle change in the grouping of the figures around Dr. Baudet. Or was it Dr. Baudet himself? Looking to the front of him, he looked at Crippen. Again, he had the slight feeling that something, somewhere, was a bit different. Crippen seemed, for instance, to have turned 1 degree to the left.
Must have moved my chair a bit. Not Crippen. It was me who moved.
And just then, the waxwork of grey moved a hand. At least Hewson thought the hand moved. Just for his own peace of mind, Raymond Hewson gave the waxen figure a little poke. Wax. No more, no less. Lifeless, lifelike wax.
They tell me, the editors, I've no imagination. Better make some notes. Deathly silence.
his right shoulder. He had neither seen nor heard a movement, but it was as if some sixth sense had made him aware of one. He looked straight into the vapid countenance of Lefroy, which smiled vacantly back as if to say,
"It wasn't I."
Of course it wasn't you. Wasn't any of you.
And then he looked back, and Crippen seemed to have shifted his position slightly.
Can't trust that little beggar. Can't trust any of them. Once you take your eyes off them, they move. Not good enough, this isn't. I reckon I'm going. Not going to spend a night with a lot of waxworks who move when you aren't looking at them. No, Hewson, please. They can't move. What are you thinking of?
He encountered the mild, baleful stare of Burdett.
Almost got you that time, Crippen. All the rest of you, too. If I do see one of you move, I'll smash you to pieces. Smash you! Experienced enough already to write my story. 10 stories for that matter. Yeah. Morning echo. Wouldn't know how long I'd stayed if I cleared out now. As long as the story's good. Yes. But that watchman up there. He'd pull my leg all right. And perhaps the manager wouldn't give me the $5 or $2. Find out all right how long I was here from the watchman. Rose will laugh about this, I tell her. You asleep, Rose girl? Or awake, thinking of me? Can't have Rose laughing at me. Kids will pull my leg too. Yeah. Nothing worse than... Worse than having... Someone's breathing. Someone was breathing. Well, it wasn't me. They knew I was listening then, and then they stopped. Yes, they did. But this is too much. Bad enough when they move, when I'm not looking. But I'm not having the beggars breathing, too. No, this won't do. I am Raymond Hewson, unsuccessful journalist, but a living and breathing man. And these figures grouped around me are only dummies. Dummies! What does it matter if they're lifelike? Wax and sawdust for the entertainment of morbid sightseers and orange-sucking tourists. Ha!
Then the gaze of Dr. Burdett urged, challenged, and finally compelled him to turn.
Huh?
Hewson stared into those dreadful, hypnotic eyes. His own eyes were dilated, and his mouth, at first set into a grin of terror, lifted at the corners into a snarl.
You moved, blast it. Yes, you did. I saw you. I saw you! What do you mean?
Dr. Burdett's movements were quite leisurely. He stepped off his pedestal with the mincing movements of a lady alighting from a bus.
I need hardly tell you that not until I overheard the conversation between yourself and the worthy manager of this establishment did I suspect that I should have the pleasure of a companion here for the night. You cannot move or speak without my bidding, but you can hear perfectly well. Something tells me that you are, shall I say, nervous? My dear sir, no illusions. I am not one of these contemptible little effigies suddenly come to life. I am Dr. Burdett himself. Pardon me, but... Steve, let me explain. Circumstances with which I need not fatigue you have made it desirable that I should live in England. I was close to the building this evening when I saw a policeman regarding me, thought too curiously. I guessed that he intended to follow me and perhaps ask embarrassing questions, so I mingled with the crowd and came in here. Inspiration showed me a certain means of escape. I raised a cry of fire, and when all the fools had rushed to the stairs, I stripped my effigy of the caped coat, which you may all be wearing, donned it, hid my effigy behind the platform at the back there, and took its place on the pedestal. I own I have spent a most fatiguing evening. The world is divided into collectors and non-collectors. The collectors collect anything according to their own individual tastes. I collect throats.
And the doctor regarded Hewson's throat with interest mingled with disfavor.
My activities of late have been curtailed. I'm glad, though, of the pleasant opportunity of gratifying my somewhat unusual whim. I should never have selected you from choice, of course. No, I like men with thick necks. Thick red necks. This is a little French razor. The blade, you will observe, is very narrow. It does not cut very deep, but deep enough. In just one little moment, you shall see for yourself. I shall ask you the little civil question of all polite barbers. Does the razor suit you, sir? You will have the goodness to raise your chin a little. Thank you. And a little more. Just a little more. Thank you. Merci, monsieur. Merci. Merci.
Over one end of the chamber was a thick skylight of frosted glass, which, by day, let in a few sickly and filtered rays from the floor above. After sunrise, these began to mingle with the subdued light from the electric bulbs, and this mingled illumination added a certain ghastliness to a scene which needed no additional touch of horror. The waxwork figures stood apathetically in their places, waiting to be admired by the crowds who would presently wander fearfully among them. In their midst, in the center gangway, Hewson sat still, leaning far back in his armchair. His chin was up-tilted, as if he were expecting to receive attention from a barber, and although there was not a scratch upon his throat, nor indeed anywhere upon his whole body, he was cold and quite dead. His previous employers were wrong in having him credited with no imagination. Dr. Baudet, on his pedestal, watched the dead man unemotionally. He did not move, nor was he capable of motion. But then, after all, he was only a waxwork.
Typewriter keys is like knuckles on wood, and my perspiration falls down upon the keys that are being punched by my trembling fingers. A mosquito circles above my bent head. There are flies buzzing and colliding with the wire screen. Around the naked yellow bulb in the ceiling, a bit of torn paper that is a moth flutters. An ant crawls up the wall. I watch it, the ant, with bitterness. How mistaken we three were. Susan, and I, and William Tinsley. Whoever you are, wherever you are, if you hear this,
Do not ever again crush the ants upon the sidewalk. Do not smash the bumblebee that thunders by your window. Do not annihilate the cricket upon your hearth. You see, that's where Tinsley made his colossal error. You remember Tinsley? You must do. He was the man who threw away $1 million on fly sprays and insecticides and ant killers. I was this man's secretary just after the Second World War. I was with him when he wandered into a web and became lost forever from human eyes beyond midnight. Biotex, the new soap and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McCabe.
Now, ladies, we're speaking about Biotex in a series of programs, and Mrs. E.B. Granger wrote to say that she decided to try our Biotex just to see if it lived up to our claims. And she said, I bought a packet, and lo and behold, it actually did just what the advert said. I'm so proud of the children's white shirts, the hankies, and the underwear that I want to say it will be Biotex for me every washing day from now on. Some of my family's accessories were left with slight stains, but now, thanks to Biotex soaking, they come out white, and the stains do go away, as you say. Now, that is a statement from Mrs. Granger of Heathfield of the Cape, and it bears out what we have been saying to you, ladies, ever since Biotex first came on the market. We said to you, it is different to any washing product that you've ever used before. We claim that the stubborn stains will vanish, and people like Mrs. Granger bear out our claims. Remember, Biotex.
There was never a spot for a fly or a mosquito in Tinsley's office. Tinsley destroyed anything that buzzed or flew. Destroyed it instantly with one stroke of his magnificent fly swatter. I shall never forget that instrument of death. Tinsley carried the swatter to work with him one morning in July 1946. By the week's end, if I happened to be in one of the filing alcoves out of sight when Tinsley arrived, I could always tell of his arrival when I heard the swicking, whistling passage of his fly swatter through the air and the thump as it landed. People, I reckon, have a right to be as eccentric as they please. But Tinsley was ridiculous.
Oh, hello, Steve. All ready?
Yeah, all ready.
Before we start, would you mind cleaning away the corpses? Right, to S.H. Little, Philadelphia, dear Little. We'll invest money in your insect spray. $5,000. Stop.
5,000.
5,000. Advise immediate production. Sincerely. You think I'm crazy?
Is that a P.S. or are you talking to me?
Oh, did you get that check for $1,000 off to the Termite Control Company? One thing I like about my office is all iron, cement, solid. Not a chance for termites. Blast it, Steve. Has that been there all the time? Hey, come on, help me find it.
What?
Why? Quickly, Steve. Systematically. Don't just sit there.
No, hold on.
Hey, stay out. Don't open that door. Don't come in. Come and help me, Steve.
Listen, I'm a secretary and a right-hand stooge, not a spotter for high-flying insects. I haven't got eyes in the back of my head.
And neither are they, so you know what they do?
They? Who are they?
Never mind. Forget it. Don't talk about this to anyone.
Bill, you should go and see a psychiatrist.
Oh, sure. And the psychiatrist will tell his wife, and she'd tell others, and then they find out. They're everywhere, don't you understand? I don't want to be stopped with my campaign.
You mean the $100,000 you've sunk into your insect sprays and ant pastes in the last 4 weeks? Someone should stop you. You'll break yourself and me and the stockholders.
Shut up! You don't understand! Doesn't understand. How can he understand? How can anybody understand?
may be a psychiatrist, but I wouldn't stand a chance unless Tinsley came to see me. I couldn't help him unless he wanted help. I'll look him over for you if you insist, though, for old time's sake. But I have the frights last if the patient won't cooperate.
You've got to help me, Susan. He'll be stark raving in another month. I think he has delusions of persecution. And besides, I need him. I need my job. It just won't do for the guy. The first date worked out well. We laughed, we danced. We dined at the Brown Derby. Tinsley didn't suspect for a moment that the slender, soft-voiced woman in his arms was a psychiatrist, picking his reactions apart as they waltzed. We drove home that night in a happy mood. No, wait. I remember now. It went... Well, you're both wrong. It went...
No, it's... What is it? Bill! Look out! Get hold of the wheel!
We're going... Mark. Did you see it? Got in my face. Oh, I crushed it. There, do you see? Against the dash. 99% of all life in the world is insect life.
I'm having lunch with him tomorrow. He likes me. I might find out what we want to know. Oh, by the way, Steve, does he have any pets?
He's never owned any animal. He detests them.
Yeah, I might have expected that. Well, good night, Steve. See you tomorrow.
The flies were breeding thick and golden and buzzing like a million intricately fine electric machines in the pouring direct light of summer noon. I went to see Lawyer Remington, who had been Tinsley's family representative for 30 years, even before Tinsley was born.
Poor Tinsley. He was only 17 when it happened.
It happened? What happened? Some accident or something?
Tinsley's father took him hunting up in the Lake Arrowhead region in the autumn of his 17th year. Beautiful country. I was hunting not far from there in that self-same afternoon. Game was plentiful. Tinsley's father leaned his gun against a bush to lace his shoe when a flurry of quail arose. They were frightened and they flew straight at the man and the boy. One of the birds knocked the gun over and it fired off, and the charge hit Tinsley Sr. full in the face. No. Oh, that wasn't the least of it. What followed was something indescribable to the boy. He ran 5 miles for help, leaving his father dead. Young Tinsley made it to the road and back with a doctor and 2 other men in something like 6 hours. Sun was just going down when they hurried through the pine forest to where the father lay. The entire body, the arms, the legs, and the shattered contour of the face was clustered over and covered with scuttling, twitching insects. Bugs, ants, flies, insects of every description drawn by the sweet odor of blood. It wasn't possible to see 1 square inch of the elder Tinsley's body. Oh.
Sorry, I just, sorry.
Oh, you cut your hand. Glasses aren't made to squeeze that hard, boy.
Yeah,
Now, let me get you something to put in your hand. So, there it is. That's why Tinsley has the fear of insects and animals.
What was his father's profession?
Oh, I thought you knew. Why, the elder Tinsley was a very famous naturalist. Very famous indeed. Ironic in a way, isn't it? That he should be killed by the very creatures he studied. Here, hold your hand out.
Oh, it's not bleeding too much. Don't worry.
pretty well puts the finger on Tinsley, all right. He's been brooding. Oh, look around. See how easy it'd be to believe that insects really are the horrors he makes them out to be. There's a monarch butterfly pacing us. Is it listening to our every word? Oh, it's gone now. Couldn't keep it up. Tinsley the elder was a naturalist. And what happened? He interfered, busybodied where he wasn't wanted. So they who control the animals and insects, killed him. Night and day for the last 10 years, that thought's been on Bill's mind.
Well, I can't say I blame him. My father had been killed in like fashion.
He refuses to talk when there's an insect in the room. Isn't that so, Steve?
Yeah. He's afraid they'll discover what he knows about them.
Well, you can see how silly that is yourself, can't you? Well, he couldn't possibly keep it a secret, granting that butterflies and ants and houseflies are evil, because you and I have talked about it, and others, too. But he persists on this delusion that as long as he himself says no word in their presence... Well, he's still alive, isn't he? If they are evil and fear his knowledge, wouldn't they have destroyed him long ago?
Maybe they're playing with him. You know, Susan, it's strange. The elder Tinsley was on the verge of some great discovery when he was killed. It fits a pattern. The next Sunday morning, the three of us went to church. On the back of the bald head of the man in the pew in front of us, a fly crawled. For the first time in my life, I felt a strange interest, a foreboding almost. And I had to resist a temptation to crush the insect there and then on the man's head. That Sunday afternoon, we went for a picnic. Bill Tinsley, Susan, and I. She tried to get him to talk about his fear, but he merely pointed to the column of ants straggling across the tablecloth towards the jam, shook his head angrily. I felt, however, that he was near breaking point, and would confide in us pretty soon if we were only patient. We didn't have to wait long. 2 days, in fact.
To handle his car. Johnson's Rally, the new car wax with the detergent-proof formula, won't wash off. It's detergent resistant. Rally gives sure wax protection that's deep and long-lasting. And the finish is fast, very fast. Johnson's Rally car wax in liquid or paste form.
Soak, that's all you have to do. Soak, just for an hour or two you'll find it's so as good as new when you use new Biotex.
With amazing new Biotex, the stubbornest stains will vanish. Yes, vanish clean away. Just by soaking your laundry overnight in cold water, or for an hour or two in warm water, or by pre-washing it quickly in your washing machine. Get amazing new Biotex today.
Study of Tinsley's house. He strode up and down. Susan and I, we stood, cocktails in hand. Metal. No maggots, ticks, wood beetles, termites. Metal chairs, metal everything. We're alone, aren't we? I think so. Good. Have you ever wondered about God and the devil and the universe, Steve? Susan? Have you ever realized how cruel the world is? How we try to get ahead, and every time we succeed a fraction, we're hit over the head. The forces of evil. How do these forces get around? I used to wonder. Now I know. We are being watched constantly. Is there ever a moment in our lives that passes without a fly buzzing in our room with us? Or an ant crossing our path? Or a mosquito skirting around a netting? small, winged things we take no notice of. They follow us every day of our lives. They listen to our prayers, our hopes, our fears. They listen and then tell what there is to be told to him or it or whatever dark force it is that sends them out into the world.
Oh, come
now. What are insects for? They're nothing but irritants to us mortals. Well, there's a very simple, although scientific answer. The government of evil, is a small body, perhaps only one. It can't be everywhere at the same time, so it sends the flies, the ants, the bugs. There are so many of them, and there have been for so many years, we pay no heed to them. Familiarity has blinded us to them.
No, I don't believe any of
Let
that.
me finish before you judge. Think of it. Billions of insects, checking, reporting, correlating, controlling humanity.
Come on, Bill. You're getting worse. Was that an accident when you were a kid? You let it feed on your mind. You can't go on.
Steve, you won't help with talk like that. Bill, if what you say is true, and these creatures are what you say they are, they must know about you. Why are you still alive?
Why? Because I've worked alone.
But if there is a they or it, evil force, like you say, it must have known for a month now. Because Steve and I have talked about you without taking any precautions. Flies, ants, these things could have overheard us. Isn't this proof that you're wrong? Listen, will you agree to an experiment?
What kind of experiment?
From now on, all your plans will be above board, in the open. If nothing happens to you in 8 weeks, then you'll have to agree that your fears are baseless.
But they'll kill me.
Listen, Steve and I will stake our lives on this. If you die, we die too. And I value my life greatly. We don't believe in your horrors, and we want to get you out of this.
I don't know.
8 weeks, Bill. You can go on manufacturing insecticides for the rest of your life if you want, but don't have a breakdown about it. The very fact of your living must prove they bear you no ill will. They've left you intact.
What I'm doing with insecticides is merely the beginning of the campaign. It may take 1,000 years, but in the end we can liberate ourselves.
Carry on with your campaign then for 8 weeks. Tell everyone about it. And then, if you do die, evidence will be left behind you. The world will know. And if, when the 8 weeks are up and you're still at liberty, you'll be free of these fears forever, Bill. Won't that be wonderful?
Susan, Steve, There, quick, above your head, Steve.
What? I got the darn thing. I got it. I don't know why.
You'd stake your lives on this? With me? All right, then. 8 weeks. We stayed with him at his house. That night I couldn't sleep because of the crickets outside. I wandered down into the kitchen. There I found Susan. We agreed that we were hungry and robbed the icebox of a leg of chicken and a carcass. We were about to plunge our knives into the carcass when a fly landed on it. We sat looking at the fly for 5 minutes. Then we put the carcass back into the icebox and went back to bed, hungry. I don't know why. At least I didn't, not then. But I do now. Heaven help me, I do now. I still couldn't sleep. And then something happened that put sleep out of my mind forever. I don't mind hearing a woman scream occasionally, but a man's scream is so strange and is heard so rarely that when it comes, it turns your blood into an Arctic torrent.
What's wrong? What is it? What?
Steve, don't touch me or it'll happen to you. I was wrong, but so near the truth. So near it doesn't matter. Keep away, Steve.
Steve! He's not dead for certain this time.
He's gone out. He's been in the shower. He's soaking wet. He's barely dressed.
I know. The shower's stolen. He must have burned himself. He's in the car. Peter!
Bill? Oh, Bill, you idiot, you fool. Slow down and wait for us, you nut.
He went east, I'm certain of it.
Well, why was he under a scalding shower, burning himself? Why?
There he is. There's his lights, 500 yards ahead, that's all. And then suddenly it happened. Bill Tinsley's car slowed right down suddenly.
See? Something's wrong. He stopped.
Stay here. Hear me? Stay here. Bill? He didn't answer me. He couldn't. He slumped in his seat, his head back. Didn't do any good to kill flies, did it, Bill? No good to kill moths, termites, mosquitoes. The evil ones are too clever for that. Kill every insect in the world. Destroy the dogs, the cats, the chipmunks, all the animals in the world. And it could be done, eventually. And then what have you got left? Bacteria. Microbes. That's why you took that scalding shower, isn't it, Bill? But you can't kill bacteria fast enough. They multiply and multiply. Stay where you are! Is that you lying there, Bill? Your body changed by leprosy and gangrene, bubonic and malaria, tuberculosis all at once. Merciful heavens. The color and the smell of you. The rotting, fetid combination of disease you are. Microbes, messengers, millions of them, billions of them. Flies? Maybe flies are good. Insects are good. Invented by a merciful God to watch over his peoples, not to do them harm, no. But the evil ones, they were clever too. They invented bacteria. Go home. Now. I've got a job to do. Oh, Bill. You look so different. I drove Bill's car into the ditch and set fire to him and it. Susan drove away, not looking back. And now, tonight, a week later, I'm typing this out for what it's worth, here and now, in the summer evening, with flies buzzing about my room. Now I realize why Bill Tinsley lived so long. While his efforts were directed against insects, birds, and animals, who were representatives of the good forces, the evil forces let him go ahead. Tinsley was unaware that he was working for the forces of evil. But when he comprehended that bacteria were the real enemy, then the evil ones demolished him. In my mind, I still remember the picture of the elder Tinsley and his terrible death. Why would the quail, representatives of the good, kill him? The answer to this is clear now. Quail, too, have disease, and disease disrupts their natural setup. This caused them to strike down Tinsley's weapon, killing him. And the ants in columns over the dead man? Perhaps they were bringing solace to him from his maker. The game of chess continues, good against evil, and I am losing. Tonight I sit here writing and waiting, and my skin itches and softens. Susan is on the other side of town, safe from this knowledge which I must set on paper, even if it kills me. Even as I write, the skin of my fingers changes color and loosens. My face is wet and slippery. My tongue tastes bitter and acid. My stomach... There's a ringing in my ears. They're killing me. I'm dying.
dying as I write this. Believe me, no story I'm telling. No. Flesh of me will slide like a diseased cloak from my skeleton. But I must write on and on until I must...